Hi guys, welcome to Apka. Then today we are going to have a sugar display class. Over here is the recipe, and for the themes that we are going to do this time for the sugar class, right, is Ratatouille or chef. So as you can see over here, I draw down the display. So you can see I put the chef over here and the mouse. Is from this class, right, you are going to see different kind of techniques that I think is suitable. It's suitable for beginner and also advanced, because we are going to learn some pull sugar technique, ribbon, blown sugar technique, also figurine. I think one of the most important people sign up for the classes is for the figurine part. So I'm going to go step by step, because the class is going to be 3 days and each day 5 hours. So as you can see over here, from day 1, right, I'm going to start to explain about the recipe and how to cook sugar, how to cook isomalt, preparing for the passage. Also, after we done all the recipe, I'm going for the pull sugar of flowers and some simple blowing, and after that ribbon. And if it's possible, today I would like to start a small part of figurine for the mouse, okay? But if it's too rushing, I'm going to continue the figurine by tomorrow. So for the second day, we are going to start to do the casting for the pillar and some small casting, okay? Then after that, I'm going to continue with a figurine for a human. So in this class, you are going to learn a figurine for human and also a figurine for animal, the mouse. And last, I'm going to show some simple blowing technique. And the last day, I'm going to show you how to do the airbrushing for the passage. And also, we are going to assembling the display together. So when we do a display, the most important part is, first, we have to sketch down the display that we are going to do. Like write down what I'm doing over here. Because if we don't do this right, it's difficult for us to imagine and also to get the shape of the display. So with this way, I know the shape I'm going to have, and also when I want to enlarge it, I'm going to scale the actual ratio of this display. Let's say example, for the picture I have over here after I draw, the total height of the display is around 21 centimeters. So I can decide if I want to do a display with around 100 centimeters, so around this height, I will have to times every part to 5 scale larger. So which means when I do the face of the figurine, if here is 3 cm, I have to make a head around 15 cm. So if the head here is 2 cm, I have to make the head around 10 centimeters. So every part we can break it to see the small size and enlarge it. So we are going to get the display usually 90% similar to our drawing. That is very important when we do a display, because when I start to do the display, right, if we don't do this, a lot of time, right, the display outcome and what you draw is totally different kind of idea. So it's very important we have to do this after, according to my experience, after I done so many times, and every time when I do the teaching, I always follow this step, and it always gives me the result which is quite consistent to what I'm doing the sketching, okay? So the first one, I'm going to explain how to cook the sugar, because before I start explaining this one, I have to explain to you all, you have to know your humidity inside your environment, because I'm living in Malaysia and the class I'm taking is from Malaysia, so the humidity is around 70% at our environment. So usually cooking sugar is not so, by using sugar, it's not so suitable, because after we done the sugar, after we build the display are going to melt in the room temperature and the environment like this within 2 days, and they are not going to be very shiny. So the display when I teach class, right, usually I change it to isomalt, but I'm going to show you how to use how to do a sugar also, because as long as your area is dry, then you can use sugar. So the first step, right now I have water over here, and the recipe is here for the cooking sugar. 1 kilo of the sugar, 400 grams of water, 100 grams of glucose, 4 drops of tartaric acid, and we are going to cook to 170 degrees. So for this recipe, all the recipe we are going to send to you, and you can have a look the proportion of it. Then there's one more information quite important over here. 4 drops of the acid is already the maximum. If you feel the sugar is too soft, you can reduce it from 4 drops to 3 drops. The lesser acid, the faster the sugar are going to set. But also it gives you better shine. But the difficult part is it's very difficult to work because you have to work super fast. So now I'm going to start by cooking water and sugar together using a high heat. And we are going to let it boil. And meanwhile, I'm going to warm up the glucose. Alright, just for a short period because we just have to make sure the glucose is soft, but don't need to warm it too hot. And for the sugar, we are going to cook the syrup until it's boiled. And before we start, right, we have to prepare brush and the strainer, which is just using for cooking sugar. Do not use the brush that you are going to use for egg wash or whatever, because the brush is to make sure we are going to clean the side to make sure there's no extra crystal of sugar. So if you are using a dirty brush or dirty strainer, or you are using for other stuff, the sugar are going to crystallize easier. So stir a little bit to make sure the sugar is not sticking at the bottom of the pot. And also, do not put the glucose in the beginning. We have to make sure we boil the syrup nicely until it's clear. Then we are going to slowly add in the glucose. If you are putting the glucose in the beginning, right, the glucose are going to cover the sugar molecule. So it's more difficult for the sugar to dissolve the crystal. So if you put everything together a lot of time, right, after you cook the sugar, the dough itself are going to crystallize easier. So usually for cooking the sugar, it will take quite sometimes. It will be around 15 minutes. Oh, give me one more silicone mold to pour the extra. I'm going to just pour a small part over here. And for cooking sugar, right, it's important we have to prepare the sugar thermometer instead of digital or infrared, because if you are using the infrared or whatever, right, it's not going to be accurate. So now the syrup is starting to boil. As you can see right now, it's quite whitish everywhere. Let it boil until it's clear. And now I'm going to remove the spatula. And before we add in the glucose, right, try to clean once with all the bubble on the surface. This usually, right, is a crystal that we are going to have afterwards. So you can see, right now the syrup is clear. I'm going to scrape in the glucose. And also, guys, the reason we have the glucose inside a recipe, right, is to make sure we can delay the crystallization of the sugar. So in a sense of it prevents the crystallization. So if we add a lot of glucose inside our recipe, right, you will find the sugar can use longer time. But the disadvantage or the other part, if we put a lot of glucose, right, they are going to set faster. So you have to work much faster if you are putting a lot of glucose. So for me, I think the recipe 1 kilo of sugar with 100 grams of glucose is good enough to use. If you want to be using for longer, you can add 150 grams of glucose, but usually it's quite difficult to work. So we have to clean the air bubble once a while. If you see the side is clean without air bubble, then we can continue let it cook. And also, over here I prepare a brush, right? It's to make sure we clean the side. So the side of the pot is clean. They don't have any splashing of the sugar. They are not going to crystallize easily.
Can you put your camera there on the back side?
So guys, you can ask if you have any question. Then our admin will go through the question, then they will ask me. I can explain on the same time. So as you can see, I clean once a while to make sure the side is clean and also remove the air bubble. And after a while, we can start to put in the thermometer. Now we have to cook the syrup to 120 degrees. Then I'm going to slowly add in the tartaric acid solution. The acid is to make the sugar after it's cooked to be softer, so it's not going to set too fast, so we have more time to play with it. But if we are putting too much acid, they are going to invert too much of the crystal of sugar. So later the sugar are not going to set properly. So you need to take care of the ratio of the acid that we are going to use. So right now it's around 108 degrees. I'm going to cook more. Clean the side. And guys, over here, right, I have a tartaric acid solution. Right, it's a mix of tartaric acid powder and same equal amount of the water. Let's say, example, if you are taking 10 grams of tartaric acid, then you have to take 10 grams of water. Make sure you use the hot water, then you put it together. They are going to dissolve the tartaric acid. What temperature should I add color? Okay, if we are adding the colors, I would suggest to add it after 140 degrees if you have liquid colors. Because some of the colors, right, have acid inside. If you're adding too early, they are going to invert the sugar to make your sugar softer. So I comes up with an idea always add the coloring after 140 degrees. But if you have a powder color, you can add in the end because they don't contain any liquids. So if you add in the end, right, you don't need to worry there's extra liquid inside. So I would suggest if you want to be safe, for the liquid color add on 140. Dry color, 140, 150, 160, even after cook, then it's fine. But if you are adding a small amount of color, then you don't need to worry. If you are adding only few drops, then you can add anytime. Oh, give me a pink color for this. Alright, so guys, you can see right now we don't have any small parts of the air bubble, and we clean the side nicely. And the temperature is already close to 120 degrees Celsius. Now I'm going to start to add in the acid solution. So right now the recipe I'm using is 4 drops, okay? But you have to see your brand, because different brand of the acid solution give you a little bit different kind of the result. And the size of pipette also gives you, like if you have a smaller pipette, usually the drop are going to be smaller. So it's the guideline. I would say 4 drops is the guideline, but afterwards you have to fix up with your own pipette and your brand of acid. So now I'm going to add in 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is enough. And guys, this is the sugar cooking for blowing and also pulling. If you are using casting, the recipe will be different. Casting, I'm going to explain you when I want to do the casting. And now I'm going to continue let it cook to 140 degrees, then I'll add in the coloring. At this moment, when the sugar becomes thicker, as you can see the bubble is bigger, right? Because the sugar becomes thicker. So we don't need to brush or using a strainer to clean anymore. We just have to leave it and let it cook to 140, then add the coloring. And one small tip, if you are using a small amount of coloring, let's say example, now I want to use one base to cook 2 colors. If I'm using a coloring with small amounts, I can cook a plain color, then slowly add in the coloring. But if you are adding a lot of colors, you have to, I would suggest to cook separate and add the color separate, because you are going to add more liquid inside. So right now, to be safe, wear gloves. One is to make sure we don't get burned with it, and another is to make sure when we work with sugar, right, because if we are touching the sugar by bare hand, right, usually we are going to sweat a little bit. With the gloves, with a glove can help us to prevent our sweat goes into the sugar. Otherwise, they are going to crystallize easier. Alright, right now it reached around 140 degrees, so I'm going to add the coloring that I want to use. So I'm going to add some pink color inside. Stir a little bit, do not stir too much, otherwise we are going to have more crystal. And I'm always use a high heat to cook my sugar. Try to cook it as fast as possible. So if you are using a low heat and cook for a long time, right, the color are going to change more. They are going to change from transparent to more yellowish. And for the cooking sugar, is 170 degrees. It's important. If you cook very less, right, the crystals are not going to dissolve nicely. Guys, it's really important the process of cooking sugar, because if you directly start with isomar, right, normally the price for isomar is more expensive. So for cooking sugar, right, if you know a lot of figuring or whatever, but if you don't cook the sugar properly, right, there's no point. So make sure you understand how to cook the sugar nicely. And the sugar that we are using, right, I would suggest to use the cube sugar. It's cleaner. So your dust inside the sugar and the dirt are going to be lesser. And also your sugar are not going to crystallize easier. Alright, so right now it's close to 170 degrees. Okay, so once it reaches 170, pour it out right away. Make sure we pour on the steel pad with a wooden tray or marble. Do not pour it on the stainless steel. Otherwise, right, the table are going to bend up and they are going to leak out. And I don't need so much, so remaining I'm going to pour inside the mold and keep it aside. Alright, we can add the next. Stir in the isomalt nicely. Okay, then let it melt slowly. So right now the sugar is almost. Yep. As you can see, when I pour a ball, they are not going to spread so fast. Okay? So we can ignore the isomalt first. I keep a low heat to let it melt. Now I'm going to show you how to pull the sugar. Since we always call it as a pull sugar, now I'm going to show you the reason. So when we want to do pull sugar, right, the first thing after we cook the sugar, let it set a little bit. Okay? Until you see it's not going to spread very fast, now we can start to pull it. To pull it right, just hold and pull it long. Like this way, they are going to stretch it and you will see they will have a shine coming in. That's the characteristic of sugar. After you pull it right, usually you're going to have a good shine with it. So you can see the color changing. So we have to pull until it's shiny. Usually it takes around 20 or 30 times of pulling, or you can check it becomes more transparent. As you can see right now, when I pull out, the sugar is not transparent anymore. So now it's done. The most important, and you can see the shine of the sugar that we are going to have. So hold it together. So usually try to not keep a very big piece when you want to keep it. Cut it. And this we can keep inside the zipper bag. And an airtight container with moisture absorbent. You can keep for a long time. Usually you can keep a few months, no worries. So now with the sugar, I'm going to show you the design. I will show you after pour. You will see the shine of it. It's going to be very nice. So when it's set right, you can see after you pull, we can get a very nice shine for our pull sugar. Now, for the sugar, I'm going to keep aside because as I mentioned to you, in our environment, right, it's not really suitable to use the sugar. Usually in our school, we are using sugar to teach the basic for the student to practice. But if you want to finish a display and keep it nicely, usually I would suggest to use the isomat. And we have to keep it inside the showcase box so it can remain a shine. So the sugar I'm going to keep aside. Now I will show you how to do the isomat. And I'm going to continue to cook the isomat. So each time we want area, we have to make sure part of the isomat inside the pot are turning transparent. Otherwise, they are going to be very thick. It's difficult for us to scrap. So right now, the part of the isomat becomes transparent. I'm going to add the new isomat inside. As you can see, after we add a new one, they are going to be slightly thicker, so we have to wait a little bit. It's okay. Oh, okay. And for the casting, for the isomat, right, after I done, I'm gonna cast inside the mold. And now I'm gonna leave it and cook first. Because part of it, right, there is no difference in casting or blowing, and also for cooling for isomat. I all using for this class. I'm gonna all use the same way. Cook to 175 with the 5% of the water inside. But usually, if you are doing the casting, right, actually we can cook a dry one. Because if you cook dry one, right, the structure is going to be more stronger. They are going to be more solid. So after you keep some time in the display, they are not going to bend easily. But it works fine with 175 degrees with 5% of water. Don't worry about it. And if you cook higher temperature, they are going to set faster. That's why if for pulling or blowing, I don't suggest to cook with very high temperature. Oh, give me another good induction cooker. Your corner will use this one. moles 175. And over here I prepare a jar, so easier for me to pour. Okay, we reach 175 degrees. So I'm gonna pour the jar to let it cool down a little bit. And the remaining, right? I'm gonna pour it out and pour and show you all the difference between the isomalt and the sugar. As you can see, after cooked, right, the isomalt is a little bit more fluid. Means it's more watery. That's a characteristic of isomalt. And that's the reason normally we use isomalt for casting more than sugar, because the effect is better. So this I'm going to pour afterwards. And now I'm going to pour inside the mold. And over here, I prepare separately a red color of the isomalt with gold dust inside. Is because after pouring inside the mold, I'm going to make an apple shape. So after I'm going to do a ball first, after that to shape it a little bit afterwards. So first I'm going to pour 60% of the transparent inside the mold first. Then after pouring the red color, so like this case, right, we have a transparent outside and red color in the middle. I use a paper cup so it's easier to pour. If it's not enough, I'm going to pour back transparent inside to make it full. And with this size, usually we have to take 5 hours to nicely. So usually I leave it until overnight. Next day I'm going to take it out and start to torch it to make it shining. So I'm going to keep it aside. And the remaining, we can leave it set and cover it. When we want to use, right, we can melt it inside the microwave and use it again. So over here, I'm showing you do the pouring also, but with isomalt. Same way. So you can see it's not sticking. Have to let it set nicely. When it's not spreading a lot, then I'm going to start to pull it. So I'm going to keep it aside while waiting for it to cool down a little bit. And we're going to prepare the isomalt. Sorry. And now I'm going to prepare the pastillage. So before prepare this, right, I will show you how to pull this first. Alright. Because the amount is smaller,
so they set faster.
As you can see,
it doesn't spread so much.
So now
I'm going to pull it.
Same way.
As you can see, in the beginning it's transparent also.
After
pull, you will see it becomes like
shiny
silver color.
Same way,
we have to go around 20 or 30 times.
When we pull it, try to pull it on the side like this way. So they are thinner, going to set faster. And the moment when we see this part is thicker, then we are going to hold here and pull. So they become thinner. So the way we pull like this, right, will be more even. Keep rotate and do it repeating the same way. So you see we get a asoma, very clean and shiny. Without a lot of polyester inside. And you can see the color transparent. Becomes whitish, silver color and shiny. So now I'm going to show you the design also. The texture of it and the shine. So as you can see, we are going to get a similar shine for the asoma. Then the leftover, if we are not using right, just keep it like this. Let it cool down and keep inside the zipper bag. Put inside the box. Afterwards, right, we can keep for next time to use. Okay. So right now, over here I have icing sugar. Just mix everything into the mixing bowl. And the gelatin, right, melt it in the microwave. Who can take this one out? Well, we don't need it. Let's put on the side. You okay? Will give me a little bit of the corn flour. You have? Okay. And after, just pour the gelatin, melted gelatin over the glucose to mix it together. So you can melt the glucose easily. And after, just pour the gelatin and the glucose mixture together with icing. And by using a pedal, or we can use hook also, but usually pedal is easier. Just using a low speed, start to mix it. And after, just roughly mix, right, I'm going to add in the egg whites. Basically, right, you just put everything together to let it mix. You can come close and see the inside. So it will slowly, from a powder, becomes a dough. Okay, we are going to mix until it becomes clean and clean the side like a proper dough. Then we can stop and take out. And over here, I have some cornstarch to make sure it doesn't stick to our marble. So after done, right, just roll it a bit to make sure the gelatin mix well with the icing sugar. Who gave me a wet towel? I have to put underneath the... Oh, help me to take out the bar mixer. I don't need it anymore. Later I'm going to put the sugar lamp there. So now I clean the marble nicely to make sure it's even. So after knead it smooth, okay, I will take out the small part to use. And the remaining, right, keep inside the zipper bag. So they are not going to be dry. So always keep like this inside a zipper bag, right? We can keep up to a week to use. They are not going to turn bad or dries out, whatever. But if you want to use longer than 1 week, I would suggest you keep inside the freezer because there's a humidity inside. If we keep 1 week in the room temperature, right, or 2 weeks, right, they are slowly going to get fungus. So if you want to use longer period, keep inside the freezer. And the day before you want to use it, throw it inside the chiller and leave it outside. And we can put inside microwave to soft it down to use it. Rolling pin. Okay. So right now, from the picture, you will see I cut a stencil like a Eiffel Tower, abstract one. So now I'll draw on the cardboard. Then after that, I cut it out. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. And after get me a set, which is done earlier, I show them. Make sure you put enough cornstarch so it's not sticking. And as you can see, I take out, make sure it doesn't stick to the marble, and flip it over once a while to make sure it's even. So now for the pastelage, I'm going to roll it to around 3 mm so you can hold the shape easier. All right, so over here I have a stencil, so I have to make it a bit longer. Make sure it doesn't stick. Okay, so we can cut. Okay. So after cut, place it to the right shape. Because after we take out the excess, right, usually we are going to adjust the shape a little bit. So to be safe, right, I always keep on the marble, on the flat table for a while, like half day, to let it set a little bit. Then I'm going to remove and put on the wooden tray. If we move it right now, there's a chance we are going to break it. Okay, so this one. I'm going to keep aside, then I'm going to show a few designs that we done earlier. Place it inside. So over here, sorry. So over here, I have prepared earlier the Eiffel Tower design. So as you can see, over here is set. And I cut one more set. I'm going to place on top to give some layers. But I break it by cutting it to layers. So when I adjust and put it on top, right, it will look better because there's layers. And over here, I cut few strips. Like this case, right, I'm going to place on top to get some design also. All right, and over here, right, same way, I'm cutting some design as a cheese slice and use a round mold to press it to get some cheese slice. So for pasilage, I'm not going to using a lot because for me it's nice for display, right? We use some different texture like pasilage, not shining, but we can airbrush with different design, and also it's very light. We can build something and increase the height and volume of our display by using something light and we can put on top. So for the recipe I'm giving you, right, usually it takes 2 days to dry up. And you can see when I use pasilage, right, I try to keep it on the wooden tray. The reason I'm doing like that, right, because there's some small hole inside the wooden tray. So there's a better air circulation for our pasilage. So if I leave like this, right, the bottom part are going to get dry easier. If I keep it on the marble or on the stainless steel tray, right, they will take slightly longer time to dry. So for making the cheese slice, right, very easy. Just roll it to thicker, cut to the size that we want, and use a mold to press the hole. So it's very straightforward. So I don't want to waste too much time on explaining how to do the pasilage because this will be the design that we are going to use. So now I'm going to start to go for the pull sugar.
The sugar, pink color, to get the glaze on top. Then pipe the red icing on the side. So I prepared this earlier so the red icing will dry faster. So I keep this inside. So over here I have the isomat that I pre-cooked. The color of this right is a mix of yellow, brown and white color. So I cannot tell you the amount because different brand right will have a different amount. So I can tell you what color I'm using inside, and I'm gonna write it down tomorrow from a whiteboard so we can send to you afterwards. But I cannot tell the exact amount because it will be depends on the brand that we are using. So I'm gonna sort it down first.
melt already for the pink color? For dipping? Oh, melt already? Or it's set? No. Later after I blow, then you help me to melt. So fold it nicely to get the right texture. So after we have the color that I mentioned, right, I'm gonna pull it to make it lighter and shining. So now to do the religious, right, first thing we are going to do the brown sugar. So round shape is the basic for all the brown sugar. So I start with the round shape. So
First part, make sure we have a sugar part, okay, torch and the scissor. And also prepare a hair dryer which can blow the cold air. So after I done that with hair dryer, with the help of hair dryer, the sugar are going to set faster. So we don't need to wait for too long. First, torch this a little bit, the copper, to make sure it's hot. And take a small parts of the sugar, stick on top. So like this case, right, it's easier for us to stick another sugar on top. First, I'm going to do the big one because it's going to take a longer time to cool down.
So for this, right, because I'm going to dip inside the sugar, we have to make sure after blowing, right, the blown sugar is thick enough. So I'm going to take the size
and blow it around 1.5 size bigger than what I have. Do not blow it too big, otherwise when you dip right, they are going to melt. So press a little bit and curve it like this way. So we have a cavity. This is almost like doing a dumpling. Then close it slowly. Keep turning to make sure we close everywhere even. So we have a bowl with a cavity inside. Okay? Then after touch the sugar that we stick earlier on the copper, so it's melted, and we can fit it easier on top and close down. Okay. Do not touch the top part too much, otherwise, right, they are going to change shape. And pump bit by bit to make sure we just blowing a little bit more. If you see it's falling down, overturn and let it cool down a little bit. Alright. Just pump a little bit, do not pump too much. And now I'm going to put it down. So we have to make sure we cool it until it reaches around room temperature. If it's still hot, right, there's a chance that we are going to change the shape. So make sure we cool it more.
The air I'm using is cold air, so it just helps to make it cold faster. And after it cool down to room temperature, just touch the copper. Touch this part so we can take it out easily.
Try to not touch on the sugar, otherwise the sugar are going to melt and they are going to change shape. And after that, prepare a sponge, right? Keep the sugar on top of the sponge, so it's not going to set. So it's not going to change shape easily and are not going to break easily. And now I'm going to repeat the step to make the smaller size.
First, touch the copper, make it hot.
Then just pump a little bit to make it round. Alright. Don't blow too big, otherwise it's not matching. Now I'm going to put it down. So make sure we cool down the sugar nicely. Otherwise, right, if it's warm when deep, right, they are going to melt.
Bro, can you help me to melt, to cool down? You help me to cool down this one? Okay, I show them the base. And guys, over here, right, I prepared the casting earlier, a dome shape.
Now I'm going to make it shiny.
Yeah, so make it shiny. And then say that you keep on marble.
And for the big one, we are going to stick on the base so it can stand. So we touch the base very nicely. And touch the transparent one so it can stick well.
So after stick, right, make sure it's balanced.
You want to come with? Yeah.
So guys,
we are doing two camera from the front and the side, right? So you can see the sticking easier.
So
after stick well, right,
cool it
down.
down.
So after it sets right, now I'm going to dip inside the pink color sugar for glazing. To dip right, the temperature we have to keep it around 130 degrees, because if it's too hot, right, they have a big chance we are going to melt it. So right now it's a little bit too hot, I'm going to wait a little bit. Remove the air bubble. Cool down. So I'm gonna start to dip from a small one because it goes down to room temperature. Just dip half, take it out and turn around. Keep turning. So they are not gonna drip on one side. And pull it down. No, when it's very close. Otherwise they are going to change shape on the same day. So you can see, you get a nice dipping, and half of it is the brown color, like a brick puff. Now I'm going to take it out. Same way, remove the bottom. And torch the color. Torch the base nicely. As like only this part. So cut and turn this way to remove the excess. So paint the base instead. Alright. So we have the top part of the cream puff. Now for the bottom part, same way. Because it's bigger, so we did need to be careful as we have to dip, because it face right, they have a bigger chance that it will melt. So make sure it's really cool down. Dip halfway, take it out, and turn around. Same way, pull it down, far. Keep turning. So after you set a little bit right, go for a strong air. Pull it down nicely. So like this way, guys, you get a nice shape of your religious. So now I'm going to stick it together. To stick right, just touch the base a little bit. But touch more on the surface, so we can squeeze it in. And it will stick very nicely. And make sure it's balanced.
So
if it's not so balanced, right, we are going to touch the base and press a little bit. So it's balanced. Right. So you can see
we got a nice shape of the religious. Okay. Any question from them at the moment?
But then most of it answer already. It's like this chef parcella philosophy.
Okay. That's how we pipe the religious normally.
Then, in between, pipe a small dot. Alright. And after we have the design of the religious, then we just need to place it inside the airtight box with a moisture absorbent. The next day after it's dry, right, it will become like this, dry totally. Then we can, now I'm going to show how to do the flower petals. Let me clean a little bit.
Then I'm going to start the flower petals.
So for the flower, as I showed you earlier, right, I'm going to do a tone slowly change from pink to the green. Pull the chopstick. Okay, so right now it's shining. I will cut to half. So mix it and make sure it's even and shiny. Okay, and cut to 4 small pieces so it's easier for us to work. So sugar, right, we have always rotated to use. They are not going to set too fast. Then after that, you can prepare a chopstick, stainless steel one, or any stick, like something sharp. Scissor will work, or chopstick will work. So I'll show you how to do the petals that we are going to do. First, right, you press a little bit and push it out a small stick like this way. Then slowly pull it out. Start from the small one. So you can see we get a nice thick and shiny, and twist. Okay, come, you cannot see. So you can see, I fold over the sugar to make it shiny. Press a little bit and push. Just push out a little bit, enough, and pull it out slowly. Slide it out. And pull, cut it, turn around. And we can, if you have the stick still left over and the sugar haven't set right, so we can do again by pulling from here. So we can make the step faster. Cut, curve. So if you see the tail is too long, cut it off. So we are going to get a similar one. And when you feel the first sugar already set, you just put underneath sugar lamp. We change to another sugar, same color, mix it a little bit. Alright, then we can do again. As you can see, just now I use a stainless steel chopstick, right? Now I change to a scissor, it works the same. So just push it up. As long as you have something sharp, then not a big problem. So pull it long to the size you need, right? Just hold it and pull slowly to break it. So we get the same shape. So you see clearly right how I'm doing this. Now I'm gonna, because I pre-prepare first layers, right, we need to have around 30 pieces. So I pre-prepare it. So I'm gonna start to stick, and later I'll show you how we're gonna change the colors.
So as you can see, I pre-prepare some of the petals and
I keep inside the zipper bag, so it's not going to be dry. By this way, we don't need to waste time to repeat the same step. So right now, I'll show you how to stick it. To stick right, just touch the bottom and stick on the side of the religious. So I separated it so easier to see.
so we have 2 layers of pink color sugar. So same way, find the longest one for the centerpiece. Slightly longer a little bit, place it. Stick in between the earliest layer, so we get a nice layers.
So same way, I'm going to start from the middle part. Then slowly move to the side.
Can push it a bit. I cannot see the time. Thank you, Dennis. All right. All right. So after we have the 2 layers for the pink color. So you can see nicely, right? Now I'm going to change it to the next color. I'm going to take one part of the pink color. All right, and mix with quarters of the green color. So around 25% of the green and 1 part of the pink, maybe a little bit more. If you want to be more accurate, you can just scale it, but usually for this color should be fine. Then mix together. Pour a little bit to make it easier. So the color are going to change a little bit. So as you can see, the color are not so pink, it's a little bit to a goldish pink. So same way, for this color, just push out a little bit and pull. And this time, we have to make it a little bit longer than earlier, so can be easier to stick. Same way, it's better to cut to small piece. When you have a small pieces, right, it's easier. So we don't need to microwave the sugar so often. So exactly same way. And I have prepared, which is I done earlier, some pieces. So we don't need to waste time to repeat the same step and see. So for this one, we need only 1 layer. Still hot. It's easier. So now for the next layers, right? Same way, stick in between the earliest two pieces and try to place it as close as possible. So after, as you can see, after done one side, you have layers of the goldish on one side. So now I'm going to do the second side.
Alright, so as you can see guys, we have a gold pinkish color on the both sides. So now I'm going to go for the next color. Same way, I'm going to cut some of this. So we repeat the same way, but this time we have to go a little bit longer than earlier.
And one small tips for you when you work, right? Try to work close to your sugar lamp, so the area, right, is a little bit drier. If you work from far away, right, let's say down here, it will be a little bit more humid if compared to this area.
So you see, when I work, right, always close to the sugar lamp. So I make sure my sugar remains shiny and doesn't absorb the humidity. So same way, push. Then pull it over. Slowly cut. Where you could put the mouse color inside the color. If you see 6, I finish the flowers right, then I think should be good. 6 o'clock, how do you put the mouse color inside the color? So, exactly the same way. Now I'm going to start to stick it. Okay, earlier I prepared some. So same way, we are going to stick from the middle, longer, and go to shorter.
Again, the same things, 1 layers for the green. Keep all this first. If you keep nicely inside the zipper bag, right, you can keep few months, doesn't really matter. But you have to make sure you put the zipper bag inside the box with moisture absorbent or silica gel. Or you can keep a box of silica gel inside the zipper bag. Then you can keep it for long also. Probably we can take a close look for them for both flowers. Let me clean a little bit. So now I placed both flowers for you all to see the difference. The way of making is exactly the same. Just one, I make it slightly bigger as I add more layers of the green. The other one, I don't have another layers of the green. You can see. So like this now, I'm going to keep inside the box. Keep the cling film underneath, so they are not going to fall down. So I think this is safe for us to transfer. As you can see, I keep inside the box like this. So when we share it, they are not going to fall down easily with the help of cling film. Then now, keep in the room temperature. Do not keep in the ACO for too long. Otherwise, when top share, they are going to crack easily. Just make sure cover the top with airtight, and then you can wrap it or seal it nicely. Then after that, just keep in the room temperature. Already prepared the sugar for the ribbon.
I suggest usually, right, whatever color we use for the flowers, use a similar color for the ribbon. So when we stick together, right, they are going to be more compatible. They are going to match up easier. If you are using a totally different colors, right, it's much harder for us to match the ribbon and the flowers together. So for me, the ribbon I'm going to do this time, right, is also the same with pink color and the green color as the main color of our ribbon. So I prepare the parchment paper. After I done the ribbon, I'm going to place on top. And the parchment paper, because we can move around, so it's easy. Myself, I don't like to place the ribbon on top of the silk pad. Otherwise, when later we want to cut thread, sometimes the ribbon are going to stick on the silk pad. So we want to remove it, right, and crack. So I suggest to use parchment paper easier. And also, when we do the ribbon, right, most important part, the texture of all the sugar we are using, right, have to be same. If the texture is different, when we want to pull it, the softer texture are going to move more, the harder texture are going to hold the shape. Then the ribbon are not going to move evenly. So you have some part is thick, some part is thin, it doesn't get a nice ribbon. So this time I'm going to show the ribbon a little bit in different way. I'm going to show you first. So the ribbon we are going to do, right, will be pink color in the middle, then green on the side. And in between, right, we have a transparent color to divide the colors. And if you see the middle part, right, the back of the pink color will have a greenish color. So I'm going to show you how to do it. And this is a little bit more advanced. It's not the basic technique, but it's not too difficult. It's kind of similar to the basic technique that you see how to build it. Just a little bit more step you just have to follow. But no matter how, when we do ribbon, right, the most important basic we have to follow is the texture have to be same for all our sugar. Okay? So the first one, I fold nicely to make sure the pink color sugar is even in texture. Alright, so I'll roll, pull to make the cylinder. So we'll cut to 3, similar size. So we'll keep the pink color on the side. Okay, when we have this, right, just pull and overturn it, stick together. So like this way we have 2 layers. Join together. Same way. After join together, this part that we stick together and it's not even, we cut it off. So we have 6 layers already. And keep this underneath our sugar lamp to heat it up a little bit. And after that, we start with the light pink color, light green color. So the same way, roll. Fold over. But for this one, we have only 2 pieces. 2 pieces is enough because I don't want it to be as thick as the pink. So I want it to be thinner. Afterwards, just cut and fold it over. So 4 layers. Same way again. Join and cut it. Exactly same way. We have to make sure it's big enough to cover here. So, one more joint. So it's big enough. Pull it a little bit longer, so it's just nice, cover it. Alright. Join nicely. The excess one we cut. Can keep for next time to use. So we don't need the braid anymore. Alright, so keep underneath sugar lamp to let it soft a little bit. So now the other side, I have a green color. For this green color, we don't need to pull it, leave it transparent, so we have a nice contrast for our ribbon. Pull it down a little bit to make sure it's similar texture, otherwise it's too soft. Okay, same way. This thing is finished. Fold over. Cut the excess out. So pull, join it nicely. Cut. Then join one more time. Cut. Cut off the excess. Then fold it over one time to make sure it's not too thin. Alright. Then for transparent. We just have to, it's too soft. Mix it nicely. Make sure the texture is even. So just join the thin layers of transparent on the side. Make sure it's straight. Now we can start to pull the ribbon. Prepare for this done. So now we are going to start to join the bead. Join one time. Together. Cut. Make sure it's stick out. Then pull. Try to make it even on the side. Second join. And join nicely. Make sure we hold the top so it's not moving at all. Cut. And if you see, right, I put the sugar lamp face myself, so they are not going to be to cool down too fast. And after, cut the front. And join one more time. And afterwards, for the green and transparent, fold it over. Join one as well. Cut. And pull it to almost the same thickness, join it together. And cut off the excess.
Then I'm going to warm out a little bit, make it softer. And here, curve it a little bit, easier to hold. Alright. Then join the pin to pin. Right. And make sure you join nicely. Then use a steel rack to hold it. Okay, so like this way we can hold it easily. Slowly. Yeah. Then slowly pull it longer. Alright. Then we can place on the table. Stretch it a little bit. So like this way, you can see we get a nice ribbon, shiny. And half of it is transparent because of the green we are not pulling. So now I'm going to cut it. So by using a big torch, towel, so make sure the knife is really hot. We can melt the sugar instead of cutting it. Just melt it and push it a little bit. So I'm going to cut the ribbon to around 15 centimeters. Do for 5 to 15 centimeters. Then after that, make sure every time you clean nicely the knife. Then cut it slants so to get the other shape. Then slant the other side. So it is tight, be careful. Clean the surface. For this, we have to make sure it's a little bit more softer than earlier. Then just roll it like a piping cone. So we get a nice shape of it.
So as you can see like this. So I'm going to repeat the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So softer. So curve. One more time for the same type. Make it flat. Then curve from one side. So as you can see, at least we get a very nice shape of our cone shape. And after the third types of the design, soft it down. For this is easier. We just have to curve from both sides to make a small curve like this way. But make sure it's natural. So as you can see, we get a nice natural curve. Color for mouse, is it soft down already or still just, it's okay. We do the sticking of the pillar first. Then the last touch, this kind of sharper one, actually we can get a very nice shape inside of the display. So just soft it down. Just curl it around like this way. You give some artistic touch to our display.
Good.
All right. Now I'm going to show you how to stick the pillar and by using a vinyl to make a mold by ourselves.
So I have to remove the glove. So it's easier to stick. Who can pass me the vinyl? All right. So over here, right, I cut the cardboard with the same shape of the design that I make and measure the scale. The original scale is around, we have to times. Original scale is around 8 centimeter for my drawing. So after times 5 is around 40 centimeters. So I roughly follow the size. And using this to measure for our vinyl, okay, and cut out 2 pieces, same shape. Okay, so as you can see, same shape. And the side, right, this time I cut around, oh, this one is 6, right? I feel, yep. 6 centimeter thickness, sorry, 6 centimeter thickness for the side. So we have to make sure we measure nicely and stick it together. So now, because I want to save time for the class, I already stick some parts. Now I'm going to show how to stick it for the other parts. To stick, right, always remember the shape of the piece, right, have to be in the middle, and the side one have to be the side. Do not place the side one on top or down. So it need to be on the side. So like this way, right, we get the nice shape. Okay, it follow exactly same shape as the design that we have. And if you are doing the 3D mold like this way, right, you have to make sure the vinyl, okay, or PVC strip, you need to have a thickness minimum 3 millimeter. If it's smaller than that or thinner than that, right, it's very difficult when you want to cut, because the moment when you pour the sugar inside, right, because this one is like a rubber, they are going to be softer. So if you are using thinner than 3 millimeter, right, the shape you are going to lose the shape. They are going to change a lot. So now I'm going to start to stick. To stick it, we don't need to have a glove, otherwise it's difficult to stick. So just use a tape. Tape the side. First, roughly tape to get the design done, and it can stick nicely with the side piece. All right. Then now I'm gonna stick this inside. Make sure we follow properly. And stick, make sure it's tight. Then after that, just make sure we cover all the layers to make sure there's no any hole in between. So when we cut the sugar, right, they are not going to leak up. As you see, right, I always stick the middle part, then slowly pull it, make sure it's tight and stick the side. So they hold very nicely. So with this way, you can use whatever design you want. Just make sure it stick nicely and hold the shape nice properly. We can create a lot of different kind of design. Terence, any question from them? Okay. So I'm gonna continue to stick everywhere, all right? And the other side, I'm gonna do exactly same way, okay? To cover everywhere. So this one after stick, right? If you want, we can cut straight away, but because the time, I'm gonna leave it until tomorrow to stick to cut it. And also because 3mm, right, with such a big size, right, I would suggest to stick the, after we done everything sticking nicely, I will have to stick the cardboard on the side to hold it better. So like this way, when we cut, they are not going to change shape so much. So I'm gonna put this on the side. I can do a preparation afterwards. Okay, then we can stop for 5 minutes to get a break. Then after that, I'm gonna do the start to do a figurine.
Okay. On. Okay, so guys, after 5 minutes, sorry, because when I say break, right, we are going to off the audio so I can have a communication with my team. So right now, we are going to start the figurine for the animal part. So because we are going to do Ratatouille, as you can see, I have the mouse. And this is the design that I wanted to have
for my display.
So
usually I print out the picture and start to follow it to do it.
And here I have
another side to look at the shape of it. It's not exactly same. I'm going to follow this more than this one. Okay.
So this is the one.
I want to have.
So over here, I prepare the gray color. Gray color is a
mix
for if you have a coloring with black
nice black color, you can just add white. But a lot of the black color coloring is a mix. After you add the white, right, it becomes a little purplish. So if like the case, right, you can add a little bit of.
So they will become more on gray color. So first, when I have a gray color, I will take out a small part. Very oily. Oh, like my face oily. Same. When it's warm, so the oil comes out. Oh, then you give me one small one. This one. I can have. No more.
Alright. First, for the face, right? Because the mouse is quite small, the full size is around like this, right? So I don't really need to scale every part. But usually when I teach, right, tomorrow when we do the figurine for the human, I'm gonna scale for you the size of the head. Because small one is okay to be thicker or thinner. It's not going to melt so easily. So I get for the head, right, I get a shape around like this size. Then cut to make sure it's more round. Okay, press a little bit. Exactly same way like just how we do the blowing sugar. So right now, I'll pause here. You take a small piece of the sugar on top. So it's easy for me to fit the soft sugar on top. Make a cavity first. Same way as doing the dumpling curve. Torch. And stick the sugar on top. Then just pump a little bit and make sure it blows a little bit. and after just make it a little bit longer, because from a picture, right, the face is a little bit longer type, so don't make it too long. And now I'm going to leave up. And when you start to set a little bit right, at the half here and a little bit higher, I'm going to press a little bit to make the eyes. Right. So as you can see, we have a shape over here. You can see. And now I'm going to put it on. After cool down, remove it from the sugar pump. Cut off the excess. So as you can see, first we get a ball with a cavity on the top for the eyes afterwards. And I'm going to place on the sponge. Make sure this one cool down nicely, or else right after we place here, they are going to change shape. Then after that, we are going to start from the mouth. For the mouth, right, get the black color. We are going to make a black color from here, the inner part of the mouth, so we can get the shape. Just press, pull out a thin layers, and cut. So we have a nice shape for the mouth. And stick it on top. So if that is stick right, you just have to salt the sugar a bit. Then stick it. So if accidentally crack it, you can cut it off, then replace one more piece on top. Make it flat first. Now I'm going to do one more to replace it. So same way, press, make it thin. So as you can see, I know now it looks weird, but usually for the figurine we have to start from the base. After that we are going to add slowly. So we have a shape already. For the black color, I'll keep aside. Then now we have to do the lips. For the bottom lips, a little bit like pink color. So over here I have the pink. It's a pink color mixed with the white. So make sure there's no air crack. And just cut out one piece, thin. Again, same way, cut a piece. Alright. And place it. Now in the beginning it looks weird, no worry, because later we are going to seal it, so we have a better shape. So after place this wrap, we are going to put it down. Then afterwards, we have to make the middle part, the nose part, so they have to come out. So get the soft sugar. Put it down here. Press down the air, so it's lesser air bubble. Then cut a big piece. So place. Make sure place on top of the mouth. So as you can see, I place over here. So it's like a clown in the beginning. Slowly shape it and make it stick. And over here, now we start to set, touch a little bit to make it soft, so we can push it inside. The other side is same way. And middle part here, touch a little bit. Make the sugar soft, and we are going to press the hole. So later, right, we are going to place a pink color over here to make the nose. So the side here, the line is sealing nicely. So it doesn't look like there's a joint. So as you can see, we have the nose, okay, we have the bottom part, and also here is the eyes, later for us to fix up. Now I'm going to put it down first. or cheek?
Cheek. Cheek.
Cheek.
Cheek. Cheek is
Then afterwards, now I'm going to do the cheek. So keep on the sponge, so it's not going to change shape. For the cheek, cut a piece and cut it half. A little bit too small. A little bit bigger. Cut it half. So we get a shape like this. Alright. Just join from the nose part. And slowly cut it down. Like this. Okay, the other side the same way. So right now you already start to see the shape of the mouse coming out. Alright. So now I'm going to put it down. Because this is a shape, we have a shape first. After cool down, then we are going to take the sugar to seal the shape. Alright, after cool down, now take the soft sugar, get the strips, seal the hole from the back first, then remove the excess. So as you can see, I place a soft sugar over here, then touch it to melt it, then press nicely. So you see the difference. Here I haven't joined, and here I already joined. So you see it becomes smooth like one piece. So now I'm gonna seal the front part also. But for the front part, be careful a bit because you have a pink color. Do not melt the pink color. So you place one piece to the down part. Then seal it nicely. As you can see, I seal properly. Then cover it up. Then use the tools, right? The sharp tools to make the line of the mouth. So I'm gonna pull it out. Same way for the other side. So as you can see, seal nicely the back. Now I'm going to seal the front. So same way for here. And again, after that, get a tooth to make a mark of the mouth. So you can see the mark, okay? And if there's a little bubble, don't worry, we let it set nicely. Later, we are going to seal everything nicely. So after we done the chin, now, sorry, cheek, right? Okay. So after we done the cheek, now we are going to do the chin. So let it cool down first. So for the chin, just cut a small piece, place underneath the lips. And touch and seal the back first from the front part. So as you can see now, we have a chin. Then these two parts is a little bit pop up too much, so I'm going to seal these two parts also by adding more sugar. So now I'm going to put it down. small piece of sugar for sealing and cut into two. So both sides same. So it's always get the shape, then after that by using another sugar to seal it. So afterwards just place here to make sure it's more smoother, not pop up too much. So as you can see, the difference of here and here. This one you have a big hole, but after you seal, here is this part is smoother, but here you have a hole. So I'm going to seal again. So you can see I place it, press a bit. If it's set, don't worry, touch it. So in case we melt the pink color too much, we can use a tool to push it a bit to make sure it stands out a little bit more. Alright, so we have the shape. And now I'm going to put down for the cheek and chin, both sides. Then I'm going to start to do the eyes. So for making the eyes right, now I leave it separate to let it set properly. Over here I have a white color. Cut a piece and cut into two. So we have the same size for both eyes row. All right. Cool it down. So you can see we have a piece of board. So same way. Always remember, if you have two sides right, you cut one piece and after that cut into half. Then you get a good shape for both eyes. The sides are going to be similar. All right. After cool down, now we are going to do the black part of the eyes inside the eyeball. So get the black color. First, cut a very small piece. Okay, cut into half. All right. Then get the gray color as well. Cut a slightly bigger size. Cut slightly bigger size. Cut to half. All right. Then torch a bit to melt it and roll it round. After that, press it. Oh, too big. So I'm going to make it smaller by cutting half again. All right. Same way, roll it. Then press. Not too big. It's still a little bit too big. I'm going to cut again. Cut a small size. Yeah, I think it should be better. Slightly smaller size. Roll round and press. All right, this size should be fine. Same way. If it's set, just torch a little bit to make it soft. Make sure both similar size. Then after that, we go for the black color. Black have to slightly smaller than the gray. Yeah, just slightly smaller. All right. Then after it's set right, we have to touch a gray color. Melt it a little bit. Then press the black one in the middle. And join it nicely. Same for the other one. After that, cool it down. So we can take it out. Make sure we cool down nicely before take it out, otherwise they are going to change shape. And now for the eyes, right, just torch the surface a little bit. Melt the surface. Then stick the inner part of eyeball inside. All right. So as you can see, we got a nice shape of the eyeball. One more. Press it inside. Then roll. Again, as you can see, we got a nice shape. So like this. And now I'm going to melt the transparent sugar to dip the eyeball inside. And to dip it right over here, I have the cake tester or a steel rod. Heat up. Make sure it's hot.
Okay, then poke inside the bowl. Pull it down. One more.
when we do this, right, try to don't put it too deep, otherwise it's difficult to take out afterwards. Alright. Over here, I have the transparent sugar. Okay, can you see? Okay. Make sure it's not too hot. Let the air bubble comes out after you microwave it. The temperature, when you go to deep right, you need to make sure it's around 130 degrees. So you can see over here. Or you want me to go closer over there?
Sure.
So they can see, right? So after I deep right, I'm gonna directly comes to cool down. Okay. So make sure the eyeball right already cool down to room temperature. So the transparent sugar not too hot. So deep inside, take out right away. Do not leave it inside for too long. So turn around like this. So as you can see, we get a nice shape. And now I'm going to cool it down right away. Before you set, you cut off the excess of the transparent sugar. So it's easier to take out afterwards. So as you can see, after done, we got a very nice shape and shiny for our eyeball. Very separately. The other one.
Exactly same way. Dip and take it out right away. Lift it out and turn around. Let the excess of the sugar break down. And make sure keep turning like this way, so they are not going to drop on one side. Okay, so right now I'm going to cool it down. All right. So after you set, pause again the seal.
Slowly melt it, take it out. Alright. And shape it nicely. So as you can see, lovely. So when you touch along like this, they might drip on your hand. So try to touch like this way. Go around. So let it set. Alright. So now we can continue. So as you can see, if we place the ice right now, right, it's pop up a lot. So now we have to make the cavity deeper by touching it. Just repeat this step to make sure we have a deep cavity. So make sure a little bit. To see it better, you see the shape right, I suggest. Now I'm gonna make a pink color for the nose, so we can see better. So roughly stick it so like this way, right, you can see the shape come out better. So still pop up a lot, so I have to make the hole bigger. It's not sticking up, I still can pull it off. It just helps me to see the shape, whether the shape is suitable or not. Alright, I think right now it should be there. So touch and make sure both sides is softer a bit, so we can squeeze the ice inside nicely. And make sure it's soft so we can adjust it a little bit. So we have to look in front, as you can see, so it's not pop up a lot. Then the side, just push it up so it doesn't change the shape. So you see, like this way, we roughly have a shape of the mouth. So now I'm going to seal the eyelid and the bottom part. Now I can take off this one, so you can see I can. Now it looks weird without this, but with this it's easier to see the shape. as you can see. But I would suggest don't stick the nose in the beginning. Otherwise, right, you will see it's quite difficult for you to seal it properly for your eyes. So I keep this aside. You do the eyelid right, because I'm going to follow the shape like this to make sure it's like curved down. So I'm going to add it slowly. By adding a small piece, like just how we do the mouth, press out, cut, to make sure it curves down. So like this way. So you see, it curves down. So the same way for the other side. So as you can see, it looks like a little bit set, not too fierce. Okay, then I'm gonna seal the bottom part. And before I seal the bottom part, just touch the joint here to let it join nicely. Then the bottom part. For the bottom part, right, it's easier. Just cut the piece like this to seal, then will be enough. So the other side the same way. So you can see this. Okay, then I'm going to seal the bottom part. And before I seal the bottom part, just touch the joint here to let it join nicely. Then the bottom part. For the bottom part, it's easier. Just cut the piece like this to seal, then will be enough. So the other side the same way. So you can see this. Alright. And now I'm going to seal the bottom part. After we get the shape right, now we just have to take the soft sugar, put in between, so this can seal it nicely. Touch it. So you can see here. So it cover nicer. So the other side. Soft sugar. Cover it. Seal the hole. So after done nicely, now I'm going to put it down first. And now I'm going to add a little bit for the cheek to make it a little bit bouncy over here, because here is comes out bounce a lot, but here suddenly is shrink in. We have to add a little bit so you have a better continuation over here. Same way, because it's both sides, so I'm going to cut a piece for two sides. So as you can see, we have both sides done. Then if you have the nose, so you can see now the shape. Now we have to do a top part to make sure we have the head is more longer, sharper. So place the piece like this. Make sure it's curved down. One more. So the center part, let it join. Okay, later we are going to seal here. So this one we have to let it set properly to get the shape. So as you can see, we got this also. Okay, then later we're gonna, I'm not gonna add the full teeth, I'm gonna adjust half. So afterwards, we have to seal the back part. Soft sugar. Seal the back hole. So the head will be side inward. So you can see, we seal the back part nicely. Right, so the other side. And here now, I'm going to seal it also, the middle part. But here you have to be careful. Do not melt the ice. So you can see it's sealed properly. So this part has to be more down, see a bit. So the last part I will just have to top up this one to make it a bit more round. So the basic head shape is done.
就是。
the mic battery finish. So you can see the pink color, just touch it. So we have the shape of the mouth, head. Okay, now we are going to do it here. Get the pink color and the grey color. I think okay. Just cut a small piece of pink color. Press it inside. Open it and pull it up. So you have the outside is a grey color, inside is a pink color. So as you can see, with the ear, then it looks much better. Then you have the inside here. One more, same way. Cut. Press it inside. Open and pull it up. Then close. Then cut it off. Cut off the excess. Right, now we can stick. So for the ear, don't stick both sides same. So one, I'm going to stick a little bit more straight, the other more slant. So it looks better. So touch both sides. Stick it and touch a bit to seal nicely. The other one, I'm gonna put it more flat. So as you can see, like this. And guys, because to save the time, right, tomorrow myself I will prepare, I will show a little bit first to make the mark, to make the hairy. But that will take some time. So right now I show you some part, tomorrow I will continue. So get the blade knife, right. We are going to heat up blade knife and cut the mark.
So as you can see, I'm gonna do this for all the face to save time, because I don't think you all wanted to see me to do repeat this way to do all the head and the body. So right now I'm gonna do just a small part. I'm gonna keep it. Then I'll start to do the hand and the leg. Okay, I think we should have sufficient time to do the hand and the leg. For the body, maybe I will do the body first to match nicely. Tomorrow I do the hand and the leg. So we'll keep aside. For the body, I'm gonna warm it up. Sorry, you don't want to see the hand first. So it's actually a shape like this. Correct. A long shape, then bigger over here, slightly smaller over here. So now I'm gonna blow a piece. Same thing, I want to do blowing again. The texture must be even. Take a small piece. So cut a little piece. Press and make a bow first. Exactly same way. So you can see the cavity. Touch the sugar to fill it properly. Keep turning, so press it evenly. You have a nice ball. So we'll start to pump a little bit of air inside. After that, roll. After we have a bowl, right, slide it longer, roll like this way. Now it's leaking a bit. Touch and seal the hole. Make sure it's not leaking. Start to pull up. Press roughly. You get a shape. Okay. So now I'm going to pull down and blow a little bit bigger. because the body right are going to be flat a little bit, so after you blow right, just press it a little bit when I start to pull down a bit. So you will see here is a bit flatter, here is a bit wider. So the side like this right have to be flat. So the shape will be better. And now I'm going to pull it down nicely. But I'm gonna stick the hand or whatever, then only stick the head afterwards, so you can see the shape. Put on the head. And after we have the body right, now I'm going to do the hand. For the hand is simple. The arm part, cut a piece. Roll. For this, because it's small, we don't need to blow. And cut the half first, so we got the other side. So like this, then you pull down. It has to be slightly bigger, it's a bit too small. So I'm gonna go separately from my work. So the first one, here we go. We have to follow the shape of the body, so you can see I cut it slant, so it's easy to join. One more.
the second one, curve it a little bit, like this. And follow the shape of the body. So you can see we make the elbow. Now put up. And last part, I'm going to do the head. After finish the arm. This will be the last part of today. So tomorrow I'm going to continue with the leg and the tails. For this, just cut out a piece. Roll. And roll your and go like this way. Press again. So after, for the hand, just cut to 4 half. So afterwards, right, just touch a bit to make it round. So for the right arm, right hand, right, is going to hold the chest. So we are going to curve it. Like this. So the extra one, we are going to cut it off. Because this time we are going to join with the grey color. So we are going to place the cheese over here. So as you can see here. Alright. So to join these two together, right, touch this nicely. Place it together and join. So as you can see, that is where if there's a mark, touch of it, make it smooth. Alright. Cool it down. And the other hand is going to open. So cut same way. Roll. Roll it a bit longer first, then press. So first thing, cut to half.
then half again. Then torch to make it round. So this one has to up. Broken fingers. We have to join it. Follow the shape of the drawing. And join this on top. Put it down first. Then same way, touch this nicely. Join it on top. And after, measure nicely. So I'm going to show you all. So temporary for today. After we have the body right, you can see the hand. We are going to place it almost same with the picture. So it's like getting the cheese. Of course now it's thin because tomorrow we have to seal this nicely. Alright. And the left hand also, we have to seal this part nicely. Then we are going to stick the head up. Now the neck is a little bit long. I might have to trim a little bit. And I'm going to do the tea by tomorrow. And right now I'm going to cut the hair prepared by today. So, or tomorrow morning. So when we start the class, right, you'll see I will already trim everything nicely. Alright, because now is the time. So before we finish for today, any question you can check with me. If there's no question, we are going to stop the class right now. So I can do some preparation for tomorrow.